The way I think about it is we really need to focus right now on real-world data. First of all, I'll just say I was using real-world evidence before it was called that. In the 1970s, I had access to computing that enabled us to do observational treatment comparisons. And I learned pretty quickly that, like every day, I would have a fellow come to me and say, I've looked at A versus B, and A is better than B. And half the time they were right, but we couldn't figure out which half. And so that led me to be a real fan of randomization as a tool in the tool chest. And so the way I think about it is we really need to focus right now on real-world data. We're in an era now where the data can actually, we don't have to separate research and do it in another environment than clinical care. There's a digital footprint of everything that happens in clinical care. And it's going to be better than what you collect on the side for most things as we get better and better at it. We need to fix that. And then there are certain questions where the right tool to answer the question is an observational component. And there are other questions that can only be answered through randomization because of the biases that exist. And for those who really are involved in this, from my perspective, we've gotten better and better at dealing with biases related to treatment selection. What is completely unsolved right now is time zero bias. That is, if you're collecting data on people, treatment decisions get made for a reason. And when you're comparing A and B, you don't know that inception point and whether the data, because a lot happens around that time. And there's a really good literature on this. We funded a lot of research at FDA to work on it. I would say right now about 1% of the world's literature on observational inferential treatment evaluation meets methods that would be considered adequate. Now we can fix that over time, so there will be greater and greater use of real-world evidence, but randomization using real-world data could be a very inexpensive way to get those answers.